2018 Jeep Grand Cherokee with a 3.6 four-wheel drive doing the starter motor replacement. Do not read ALLDATA or Mitchell. They tell you the completely wrong way to do it. They want you to remove the front drive shaft, the cross member, and then pull the starter out back here. I can tell you that doesn't work. I followed those steps and you cannot get the starter out because it's going to hit the engine mount bracket, the left-hand engine mount bracket. So you don't have to remove your drive shaft, nothing. The only thing you have to do from the back is get those two 15mm starter bolts out. That's it. As you can see, we're still on our cross member. And on the front, we're going to raise the motor up, but to raise the motor up, you first want to remove your engine cover so we have enough room to raise the engine up. Then pull off this plastic skid plate here. There's a steel, this piece of steel, and that. So that's on the bottom, of course. And 2x4 to the lower oil pan. And then you're going to pull the 15mm bolts. There's one on the front of each motor mount and one on the rear of each motor mount. This one obviously very easy to get to. The one on the back here, just use that Matco 15mm offset wrench. This thing, it reaches up between the suspension components and can get that loosened up. And then on the here's your one for the driver's side rear. And you're gonna have, of course, the one up front. This little 15mm, this thing zips them out really easy after you've broken with the long ratchet wrench. And then here's your mount for your engine. You have your one 15mm nut here, and then there's 4 bolts that bolt it to the block. Fairly easy to get to. I did loosen up this coolant line. I'm not sure if I had to or not. It's just a couple 13mm nuts to get that out of my way, just to be able to get the motor mount out. But now, I don't think I had to do that. The starter connector, the solenoid connector, was a little bit of a pain in the butt to remove, but there's nothing fancy about it. It's just got your red safety lock. Slide that back, and then you're gonna just get a pick back in there and pry that up and pull that off. Now, the main battery post wire, it is held on to the bell housing with a 13mm bolt. I don't know if you can see it, but you cannot pull that starter off until you get that bolt out so you can have enough slack to get this wire off that post. And to get that out, use the Harbor Freight long ratchet with the 13 short. You can get up in there. It's right behind that bend in the wire. There is where that bolt's going to be located, and then you can pull the starter out. Oh, and don't forget, disconnect both batteries. You have to move the passenger seat all the way forward, and there's a tray underneath there, and then you'll have both batteries need to be disconnected.